Hello everyone and welcome to Infinite Chronos. So as you may or may not know, Pagani Design is a company that creates homage watches of much more expensive luxury watches. And today's watch is going to be no exception to that rule. Today we're looking at the PD 1731. Now this kind of gives off a little bit of a Grand Seiko vibe, but for considerably less. This watch comes in at around $30 to $35, and I'm going to leave a link below if you'd like to pick one of these up on AliExpress. So without further ado, let's get started. And here we have the Pagani Design 1731. Let's go ahead and get into the specs real quick, and then we will take a deeper dive into the watch itself. So the case size is 38 millimeters. And the lug-to-lug is 45 with a lug width of 20 millimeters. So you can use a lot of different straps on this. This has a case width of 12 millimeters. And yes, you can see that sitting right on top is a piece of double-domed sapphire crystal. That is really nice. You have a water resistance rating of 100 meters. And this whole thing weighs 108 grams on a bracelet. So it is not very heavy on your wrist at all. You don't notice it much at all. This is all powered by the Seiko VH31 quartz movement. Yes, I said quartz. But you say, wait a minute. The quartz movement only has 1 tick per second. Why is this ticking like an automatic watch? No, the VH31 is a quartz movement by Seiko, but it does have a sweeping second hand, so it more mimics an automatic watch. So this has 2 hertz, so it beats at 14,400 beats per hour, or approximately 4 ticks per second. Now, by comparison, the NH35 automatic movement from Seiko beats at 6 ticks per second. So this is not exactly like an automatic, but boy, it sure does look like one, doesn't it? Look at that go. That's pretty interesting right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this now. We have a case. Let's start with a case. So the case is a polished stainless steel. And look at that. Polished very well. And then you'll see here at the lugs here, you have some vertical brushing, which does look really, really well done. The bezel itself is polished. And it does have a little bit of, look at that. Polishing all the way around. Looks like a little bit of brushing too. The lugs are turned down, so it does fit really well on your wrist. Let's take a look at the case back here. Now, we have pretty much our standard Pagani Design case back. It is nicely done though. It is etched with the Pagani Design logo. It says Pagani Design, gives you the model number. I think there's a water resistance rating. Pretty much the standard stuff that you see there. So, let's come back up here to the crown. This is a signed crown. And it is 6 millimeters, and it is a screw-down crown. So not much to say about that. It is pretty easy to grip. So we'll keep going here. Let's get into the dials now. So the dial itself that you see here, this one's a yellow type dial, but that's what it's showing up here on the recording. In reality, it's more of a kind of a cream color. It does come in 2 other colors. One is a green and the other is more of a Tiffany blue. Now you'll notice here on this particular cream color and on the green color, the dial face just tends to be rather flat. But the Tiffany blue, from what I've seen, has a little bit of texturing on it. So that might be something to consider if you're looking to pick up a watch like this. So the minute track is printed on this. You can tell right there. And the hour markers are single batons that are applied with the exception of the 12, 3, 6, and 9, which are double batons. You'll also notice that the Pagani Design logo itself is applied. It is not printed. So very nice. And you have down here the water resistance rating 100 meters. That is printed on, along with Japanese movement printed there at the bottom. The handset is a Dauphine type handset right there. And it does have a slight bevel to it. So the light will kind of bounce off it in different ways and play with the light there. You do have some lume in the hour and minute hand there. And if you haven't noticed, and I'm sure you already have, that second hand, when you're looking at it straight on, it looks just kind of like a standard second hand. But in the light, when you turn it a certain way, it is blue. So it's like a blued second hand, which is really nice. Now, out of these dial colors, I would I would say if you're looking for legibility, I would go with the green. The yellow, this cream color, I should say, not quite as legible, but I just think it looks just so nice overall. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracelet now. We have an oyster style bracelet here. And honestly, I'm going to be just very honest here. This is where I think it all fell apart on this watch. This is where they didn't spend the money, I should say. You have a 20 millimeter starting width here, and then it tapers down to 15 and then back up to 18 here at the clasp. You do have removable links. They are screw-in links, which is nice, but the screws do tend to get a little bit loose and kind of fall out if you're not careful. So if you do make your adjustments and you keep it on the bracelet, maybe put a little bit of Loctite in there to keep those screws from falling out. I will say that the bracelet has look at that. That's got some flex in it like you wouldn't believe, and it rattles. The bracelet just rattles. And you can see, look at those gaps in between the links. That's just not a tight fit at all. And this one, geez, look at that. That is a huge gap in there that really just, I think it just falls short. Anyway, let's move down here to the clasp itself. This is a milled scissor clasp. I mean, that is just really great looking. Now, the top of the clasp here is a stamped metal. You do have 3 levels of micro adjust, so it doesn't have a ton of adjustability, but it does have enough in there to get you through. And then, of course, it folds over, clips in real nicely. It does have a security feature there. And the fold over has an etching of the Pagani design logo on that. Now, that looks really nice. Now, I will just tell you right from the start, the lume on this watch is practically non-existent. It's not good at all. I would even go so far to say it's pretty bad. It's really bad. I'm just going to say it. It's really bad. But then again, I mean, there's really no other lume on the watch other than on the hour and the minute hand, which, this is a dress watch. I don't know that you would want to have lume on it. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. But it's very thinly applied and it does not last very long at all. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what this watch looks like on some different straps. So here we have it on the bracelet that it comes on. I really don't like the bracelet. I just think there's much better choices. This one right here is the distressed canvas and leather from StrapHabit. I think this gives it a little bit more of a sporty look. Also a good choice here is the premium Sailcloth. I don't know that this is exactly the look that you might want to go for, but it does look really good on this watch and a whole lot better than the bracelet. Finally, here is the dress leather strap that I think looks the absolute best on it. This is from Ritche watch bands. I'll put the links to all of these watch straps below if you'd like to pick any of these up as well. But I think overall, this is absolutely the best one. Okay, so let's go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there is an ugly part to this. Anyway, let's start with the good. So the good, I thought the case finish on this was really well done. I like the dial, even if it wasn't really textured. I really like the color of the dial. The indices, very well applied. I like the use of that blue second hand. I thought that was really nice. The double dome sapphire crystal. Really good touch. And you're just not going to beat it for $30 to $35. It's just not. Now, what did I not like about this watch? Well, here's the bad. The lume. But then again, I kind of always touch on lume for a lot of watches like this. But here again, this is a dress watch. So dress watches typically don't have lume on them. So is that really a deal breaker? I'll leave that up to you to decide to see if that's something that's really important to you. Now, what did I think was ugly on this? Oh man, that bracelet. I don't know what happened, but that whole thing just fell apart right at that bracelet, literally. So I just think if you're going to pick up a watch like that, if you're going to pick up this watch, in fact, I would really just pick up a good watch strap to go with it. That's just really kind of all there is to it. It's a great watch, really, for $35, a nice dress watch. You put it on a nice watch strap like this, bam, you're done. It's a great watch. So I would consider doing that. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Pagani Design PD 1731. Why don't you leave me a comment below and tell me what you think about this watch? And while you're there, maybe consider leaving a like and subscribe for more content like this. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and please always know just how much I appreciate your support.